He was very concerned about the fact that the decision-making process in the office of the President of the United States was not suitable to him.
That was Governor Linwood Holton reflecting on Burkett Miller's vision for the Miller Center. In 1974, Governor Holton joined forces with Miller, a University of Virginia law graduate, and Edgar Shannon, then president of the university. Together they founded what is now the Miller Center. Burkett Miller had the vision and the resources, Shannon brought institutional leadership, and Governor Holton helped forge the path that turned a bold idea into reality. But Miller wasn't looking to create just another think tank. He wanted a place where scholarship met service in a time when the nation was on edge.
He very plainly and many times said, I would like to create a center where representatives of academia, the government, statesmen, business people could have a place to interchange ideas with the idea of helping the decision-making process in the office of the president.
The founders very much wanted the center to draw from all the schools at UVA and to speak to public audiences about public problems. That's why the center's director reports to the president and to an independent governing council, which approves its entire budget and its entire research and convening programs.
And therein lies the story behind the Miller Center. Became an independent affiliate of UVA with loose ties to the university from a governance point of view. That's what I inherited when I came in here and became the chair of the board here.
From the very beginning, the Miller Center understood the power of public dialogue. Events were our first bridge connecting scholars, policymakers, students, and citizens in open civil conversation.
To me, the Miller Center has a sense of place, in one sense, a geographical space. It's near the Capitol, but a couple of hours away. It's in a setting that obviously is imbued with all the history of the University of Virginia, but it's also got a kind of an intellectual sense of place. It takes you onto a higher plane, where you're not just arguing about the news of the moment, but you're trying to understand contemporary events in the context of what came before. You're drawing on all the expertise of the scholars. People go into a different gear when they're at the Miller Center.
The Miller Center is deeply committed to understanding the American presidency. Through the presidential recordings and presidential oral history programs, it has built a primary source archive unmatched in depth and scope.
The real engine room, the guts of the operations of presidential studies, which would include, the oral histories and the presidential recordings. There's a number of insights you can get. It's fantastic. Those two programs are really what I would consider the pillars of the place.
But the center's work doesn't stop with research. It's also a place where history helps inform real decisions, where ideas are tested, sharpened, and put into action. One example.
The War Powers Consultation Act of 2014.
My friend Jerry Belials put this together. I'm not sure anyone else could have done it. And he called me a co-director. But what I really was a secretary. These were very fancy people, chaired by Jim Baker and Warren Christopher, two former secretaries of state, one Democrat, one Republican. And the rest of the commission was a star-studded list of serious people, really trying to grapple with very serious problems, and to do so in a nonpartisan way, which of course reflects the Miller Center perfectly.
For 50 years, the Governing Council has helped chart the course of the Miller Center, offering insight, strategy, and support. Its members come from across the country and across professions, but they share one goal: helping the center fulfill its public mission.
What's truly unique about the Governing Council is that it appoints its own members, and it chooses its own leadership. That has allowed it to be independent. It has also created and sustained a culture of nonpartisanship and bipartisanship that is unique.
I can't say enough good things about Alice. I mean, she was terrific. I called on her to try to recruit her to join the board here. I finally convinced her to come, but only if Steve Burns would come too. She had the vision and the organizational skills And he'd focus on fundraising. How are you going to go about raising money for this organization? They were a good partnership, and they worked very, very well with one another.
Sounds like it.
And they had a very, very high level of respect for each other.
I joke that my talent is I recognize talent. And we have a really, really talented governing council. The diversity in terms of geography, diversity in terms of thought, political perspectives, professional backgrounds. But the other thing that's so important is I think we have good chemistry. And I think that is so important in terms of the success of any committee or board, is to have chemistry. Because of the talent that we have on the governing council, just their affiliation gives us a certain level of credibility. The University of Virginia has a think tank that's called the Miller Center. Oh, and by the way, it's phenomenal.
There aren't many places like the Miller Center that look at policy not through a political lens, but just through that policy-based, what is the right thing for our country? How do we bring people together? How do we understand both points of view? How do we put out recommendations for change that prop up our institutions, not prop up a particular party?
Mr. Miller would have been extremely proud of everything that his greatest desires for a viable, strong, active center studying the presidency was doing. They felt like he was accomplishing really more than he had set out.
You know, my father used to wake us up, all the kids, every morning with the same mantra: opportunity time. And that became his mantra when he was a governor and thereafter, that we ought to look at every moment as an opportunity to make a difference, to do something exciting, to do something important, to solve problems. So when I come to the governing council, it's with that spirit of opportunity time, looking for opportunities for the governing council to make a difference, to help solve these major problems.
This has been Ann Compton at the Miller Center.